Oh, geez, my friends, a little tech stuff behind the scenes there, but also just got a really interesting message. I was testing out some audio stuff. I got some new people moving in next door and a fence getting fixed and all this sort of stuff. And I happen to know the dude who's doing the construction. So Nez and I were testing some audio stuff. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? And I messaged the guy. I was like, hey, are you guys still doing the build next door? Blah, blah, blah. And he messaged me back. He goes, yeah, hope you don't have a stream today, pal. I just dropped off a jackhammer. So bear with us here if the audio goes to shit. But there's 25 contests up in the Underdog lobbies right now, and we weren't about to go. We were not going to miss out on the heavy action that is in the lobbies right now. Des, man, I owe you a congratulations. I owe you a congratulations.
You do.
Biggest hoops slate of the year to date. 10K, took it down on Friday night. Big shouts, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I'm still kind of riding the residual high off that bank. I mean, it's very fun to win on Underdog.
You don't say.
I mean, I'm telling the swings with hoops are so like high. The highs are very high, and the lows are like, dude, why do I play this game? Like the swings are just like insane. So I'm just really trying to embrace the good feeling of this and trying to, ride off and do it again. I told you that night that I won. I didn't use any projection sources. I usually use a couple different projection sources along with like my own biases to make these decisions. And that night it was all me. So I think it's time to cancel my subscriptions.
Well, I'm not sure I'd go that far as it's like a reference point, but you and I have had this mini conversation many a times where it's like, man, we're putting in just as much work and we think we know just as much ball. Like, why are we so reliant on them outside of ourselves, right? And then we always go back to the Utica quote where it's like the projection is the knowing ball. So maybe it's just another testament to the balancing act that is, hey, don't just grab your, as much as we love ETR, stochastic, fantasy life, all these nice projection modules that are put together by, people smarter than us or smarter than me, at least. We love them, but like maybe we use them more as like cross-reference opposed to just straight drag and drop upload, right?
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm at. Like I won't get rid of them because I want to make sure that like my finger is still on the pulse and that I'm not like completely way off on mostly when it comes to matchups and teams, and also helpful whenever a player's out and seeing how much that bump really is. Cause I'm not out here calculating that. I'm literally just guessing. So, but no, I appreciate that. So you were saying that you thought,
okay, yeah. Let me give you this.
Okay.
So Friday night, Nikki and I went to a housewarming thing or whatever. She'd been out all day despite having the day off and whatnot. I was like, I'm not gonna play hoops. I'm not gonna play. Then I kind of like looked at the slate and I was like, oh damn, I love this slate. Like I loved, some of the mispricings, or so I thought were mispricing. So I got super exploitative in a couple spots. Didn't have enough Paulo, even though Franz was out and his usage has been insane. But I really liked, getting ahead of the Booker spot and the Kyrie spot. And I was like, tonight I got a good feeling, whatever. Anyways, we go to this housewarming. There's like, 40, 50 people there. I just kind of shelved the phone for a while. And I go take a piss, like maybe 2 hours into this party or whatever. And I just pop it open. And man, I got tag after tag after tag. I got congratulations messages. I got like this sort of stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I think I might have won hoops. So I don't even look at the app, right? I just go to like the score app and I just go, okay, look, what's the scores in these games? Oh, they're not over. Okay, there's still half left in this game. This could be premature anyways. Something else might have happened, right? Go back, hang out at the party, whatever. And I go and I look after maybe like 2.5 hours later, we leave and I look at it. And it's like, sorry, man, I jumped the gun. I thought you were going to win. Sorry, man. And I had like premature congratulations messages. And then I had all the Twitter notifications, which I thought were me winning, but it was you winning, me being tagged in your win. It was like,
no.
Nice, dude. Like, this is a sick night. Like, I was just, there was like this moment of like flippening where it was like, oh shit, I won hoops and Nez tagged me. So like, oh, Nez won hoops and he tagged me.
Oh no, that
It was
sucks.
funny. It was funny.
Oh.
But hey, couldn't have happened to a shittier dude. So I mean, that
That's
was really
amazing,
funny.
man.
It was really funny. And then once I realized it was you that won and whatever, it was pretty good. It was
The premature tagging is definitely something that should probably be curbed. We need to,
Yeah.
if we need, as a community, we need to do better. There's etiquette when it comes to the tags.
Well, therein lies the East Coast bias, Nez, is because these guys are going to bed and they think the slate's over, right? And there's still, 2.5 halves left where some guys are sitting there with like the optimal 4 players from the early game. And then they still got like, AD and Harden in the bank or whatever, yeah. Anyways, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Crutches. Crutches would never mush. Chad saying here, it's fun to win. Never truer words. Well, shout out to Chad who got himself a 4K one. I can't even remember what place it was. We'll look in a second here in the BR streets. There, you love to see that. Big day though, Nez. Big day on the platform. We got all the BR stuff up for the playoff contest. We definitively know the playoff bracket now. Yeah, I don't know. Have you been messing around in the playoff streets now?
Oh yeah, man. I've got quite a few drafts under my belt. I was doing a lot of Lions early, so really bummed about the Laporta news, but I'll take
fucking damn Campbell is
unbelievable,
so sharp, man. Crazy,
just playing for nothing.
Yeah, the Brandon Staley all over again.
Yeah, just insane that these dudes never learn. They never learn. So I had a lot, but I will take like outside chance at playing over like he's out. So
right, yeah,
there is that. If they can make their way past the Rams and then get in, that's cool, obviously. But I got a lot of Rams as well. Like that matchup is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be. I haven't checked Game Hub yet for Fantasy Life to see what the total is.
It's not updated yet, so don't bother. I was pulling it up for the show here, and there was no totals and spreads available yet, so we'll wait on that one.
Gotcha. So, I mean, dude, that game is going to be just fantastic. I think there's going to be a lot of advancers, or advancing helpers coming out of that game, and I think one team from this game has a legitimate shot at the NFC title. So.
One team, which one? Or you think whichever one comes out of it? Oh, I get what you're saying.
Either.
Okay, cool.
I do like the Rams, though. I mean, obviously I like them both by saying that, but yeah. So those have been like my 2 NFC teams because I just find the Niners just so incredibly difficult to pair and to get in different builds. Okay, 51.
51.5, 51. Yeah,
I'm going higher. Detroit minus 3.5, even with that. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But these streets, man, just today, like I did a lot before the playoff picture was finalized.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we knew we were in the good old days when we were in them, as they say, before they were gone. I wish we knew, because it is reckless out here. There is absolutely no rules from people that you would come to expect to draft well. In here, starting off purple with 2 guys that play in round 1. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're sniping quarterbacks. When you're building out an entire AFC team, you're taking an AFC quarterback that doesn't belong to that team. What are we doing? There's far too much bad drafting going on right now, and I feel for the people that are out here grinding at this point in time, because it's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, as I pride myself on bad drafting, and I don't pride myself on poor structurally drafting. I pride myself on bad drafting, as I've proven all NFL season thus far. But are we gonna have to run back the naked Purdy bit? Who is the naked Purdy snipe of this season then?
The naked Purdy of this season? That's a really good question. I haven't. Is it just Purdy again?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it could be unstacked Tua, but now that they fall into a 6 seed, like that one might have shifted a little bit.
Yeah, it could. I think a little bit. The thing is like there are pivots you can make, but like
Mm-hmm.
I can only build so many Browns and Packers teams. Like this is it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly.
Yeah, we got a naked shroud as the Purdy one. I like that one.
Yes.
Crutch is saying staff. Staff makes sense too. If you go like a Kyron Puka or something like that, and then sniped on staff.
Hurts big
Yeah.
time.
Although last year the Purdy one steamed up so hard that he got to like 1-2 turn at points like that. Like it got insane where we were streaming drafts and Naked Purdy would go at like pick 8 and stuff like that.
And it was almost good process until his elbow exploded.
Yeah, right. Totally. Couple things here. I want to set the groundwork for this week. Tomorrow, up in the air, but most likely going to be a paywall hoops from you, correct?
Yeah, it'll be later in the day compared to normal. Yeah, but yes.
Okay. Either way, we'll have badges only hoops tomorrow. I might jump on if it's a bit later with that one with you, and then we'll do our normal primer show on Wednesday. That will be completely BR focused because there is a lot of stuff up in the lobby. I mean, we got Saturday only, we got Sunday only. Like I don't know if those ones are up yet, but I'm seeing it teased in the rankings tab there. So there's gonna be tons of stuff to draft this week, even if you don't want to draft just playoff contests. Then Thursday will be you doing solo hoop stuff again.
Yeah, that'll be in the morning.
Okay, cool. And then Friday we're going to take over that block party spot on Pete's channel, and we are going to run a double header on Pete's, and we are going to do one that is playoff best ball focused, and then one that is off and on the clock style, focused to the BR stuff that weekend. So tons of content coming you guys' way this weekend, or this week rather. Just wanted to set the record there. Nez, anything else? I mean, we could talk about the Natty. I know people want to talk about how good the Dogs are. Best offensive line in the country going against the best defensive line in the country. Big trenches battle tonight. We want to talk about Michael Penix's real nice story. Coming from all those injuries, battling his way as like the greatest transfer portal quarterback of all time, leading the league in passing back-to-back years. I don't know. I don't know if people want to talk about it, but
we can. We certainly can. I will be so honest with you, man. Like I don't watch college football.
Okay.
I saw Michael Penix play for the very first time last 2 weekends ago or last weekend whenever I was back home.
New Year's Day. Yep.
Completely wowed. Just absolutely just blown away. Like dude is throwing darts, like not like 10 A-dot throws, like 15, 20-yard dots. Yeah. And he's got like pressure. He's avoiding pressure. Like he's doing like translatable things to the pro level right now. It is so sick. I cannot wait to see this guy at the pro level.
So guys who haven't watched ball, like college ball and stuff like that, we're going to get the same 2 tired ass takes on the timeline. And I think they probably already started last game. The 2 tired ass takes you're going to get is he looks like Tua. Look at how accurate he is. His arm strength is there. And he's going to get those lazy left-handed comps because his throwing motion looks different because he's left-handed. I actually saw a really cool video after last game where they pivoted all his throws from left-handed to right-handed, and his throwing motion looks like immaculate. Like it's so crazy. Anyways, I think that's going to be like the one big one. And then the other one with Penix is going to be like, oh, he's going to be like the oldest quarterback ever. He's a senior. He's a transfer. Look at the injury history. He's had the bad shoulder. He's had the ACL twice, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like you put this guy in the right system as like a early day 2 guy, or like maybe even like a desperate team trades up to like back end of day 1. I mean, him starting for you next year could be a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm not sure he's, going to set the world on fire at the pro level, but I think he definitely deserves a legit shot. Anyways,
I mean, he's not Brandon Whedon level,
right?
But I know I see more people talking about the counter argument to the age argument than I actually see the age argument. Maybe it's just because my timeline is filled with intellectuals and people that know ball. But that to me is like very silly. Like I would not care. Like just looking at the dude play, I would not care that he's 24 at all. But dude, I mean, I'm just like wowed by the way that he plays. And to me, the difference between, like, I've seen a lot more Caleb Williams than I've seen Michael Penix. To me, the difference is like, I don't see like Caleb Williams. Some of these highlights that he has is like just like running around for like 10 seconds, and then like making good throw. He's obviously like a top 2. Don't get me wrong, but some of that play style just like will not translate as well as I think the way Michael Penix like handled pressure, where it just seemed much more professional. You know, not to take anything away from what, like, if Caleb can do that at the pro level, then like, holy shit, it would be crazy. But I think there's a reason to you know, cast some shade on that. But he's gonna go top 2 regardless.
Yeah, Caleb or Drake, and it'll be kind of like that debate will take place all off season, that sort of thing. I don't know. Like there was a thought at one point in time that like Caleb was like the most can't miss since Andrew Luck, you know, style prospect. And then he kind of, you know, did himself poorly this year, I guess. Anyways, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that stuff. I probably wouldn't compare Penix to Caleb. I mean, I would just take Caleb, but that's coming from me. But I think it was more just like, this guy has gotten no attention for 2 years, and all he's done is ball the F out, and he's lost, you know, they have the longest unbeaten streak in football. They've lost 1 game since he's been there. And little side plot, you know, Michigan tonight, obviously, like that. The last time Dogs won a national championship, 1991, versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl. There's that narrative there. And then they play them next year. They've scheduled a home and home with Michigan, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they scheduled that. So they will play the second game, I believe, of next year as well versus Michigan. So setting up for like a very cool, you know, mini, you know, looking even to the future of college football will be a lot of fun there. I looked heavily into going, and I think if it was like my alma mater, I would have gone, but I think it means more to like be with like the family that cares like even more than I do. So I'm pretty into that. Like I didn't even tell you this on New Year's Day when we watched the other game together or whatever, my cousin dropped that he was born in 91, and that was the last time they won a national championship. And then he dropped that they were pregnant with a kid coming in June with a Huskies onesie pre-game.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like pretty like, oh shit, like this is good. He's like, yo, we're gonna have back-to-back national championship babies in this family. I was like, oh damn, like calling your shot.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was straight up just calling a shot. You just like, they're gonna win, and I'm gonna be the reason. Let's get to work. And lo and behold, that's hilarious.
It was so good, man. It was so good. Okay, I gotta get one last one off my chest before we talk about Week 18 here, Nez. I gotta talk about the Arthur Smith thing. I am down because you said the intellectuals on my timeline, and I presumed the intellectuals on my timeline. I think people just prematurely reacted without having seen the actual football play because, I think most people did. And anyways, I think if I'm, you know, call me fake sharpness, call me, you know, a little gal brainy, a little yappy, whatever. You call me what you want. But the one thing you won't call me, Nez, is dishonest. You know, I'm a very honest, I'm straight shooter, straight from the hip, tell the truth, right? And I'm a code guy, you know? You don't take a slap shot with a guy's face in the lane. You don't hit a guy in the numbers. You don't bunt when you're up like, you know, 8 runs or whatever. You don't steal. You play station to station when you're up 10 or whatever. And one that falls under that umbrella is you do not fucking run out of victory formation. You are up 24 with a minute left, whether the players defied the coach and whatever that story ended up coming out, Arthur Smith in that moment had every reason to react the way in which he did and yell in Dennis Allen's face, protect his guys, because that's a health and safety issue. That's not a, oh, boo-hoo, we're losing. Oh, no, like now they're piling on. Like if you want to go get Jamal that touchdown and you want to do that, fucking line up in a jumbo set, I formation, and run a play. You don't do it the way in which they did it. That was so Bush League. Dennis Allen apologized after the fact. I think the community has finally seen the light. And now that Arthur Smith is fired, well, we can dance and piss on his grave and do all we want and, laugh at him for how poorly he used Bichon and how poorly his teams performed going 7-10 for 3 straight years, blah, blah, blah. He was an asshole with the media. Let's pile on Arthur Smith. I'm down. But in that moment, that isolated instance, Nez, I'm defending Arthur Smith. I think he was right to react the way in which he did.
Yeah, he was definitely warranted. I just knew the fire was coming, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that I gave him his well wishes and his unemployment.
Okay.
Fine. Rest in piss, bozo. Good luck finding another job, but he'll be fine if not, because Daddy's got billions, so he's got something to fall back on. He should not be allowed back in football, dude. He's an absolute clown. But for those players, man, not out of victory for like you said, like that's I don't like that. I don't like that either. And he was right to be upset. I still stand by what I said.
All right. I will allow it. I just had to get that one off my. I had to get that one off my chest because, like, I don't know, like I'm not usually the one to like pick a fight or like be the contrarian narrative guy for like, I'm pretty even keel and don't really give a fuck. And, everyone have your opinions and whatnot. I just thought that one was just like wrong by the community. And I had to say something, just had to.
Yeah. I do. I'm with you. He was correct to be upset. Enjoy unemployment.
I like it. This is my actual favorite comment, but this is my favorite comment from Carlos right now. Who cares if he was right? He's been wrong all season. Exactly. And I think that's how everybody felt. Oh man.
Yeah, I just wish it was different.
John Warner, I got my finger pistols ready. Oh god. Let's talk about the week that was week 18. I'll be straight with the people, man. I did not have a good NFL year. It felt bad. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, or I said something to you, Pete, and Neumy there, where I was just like, man, I can't remember. Like last year, I legit had a sweat. I don't know. Every week between the DeBomb and or BR and or whatever, like I at least had like a glimpse at it. I can't remember a time this year where I was in first in the BR. Maybe it's a tribute to the games getting tougher, the streets getting larger, that too. Maybe I just played poorly and had a bad season, and maybe I was too exploitative with all the wrong plays here, Nez. But enough about my teams. Let's talk about week 18. That was how many did you get in? How did you feel? Where did you end up, etc.?
I did not have a good week 18. I lost money week 18. Had an okay amount of Breece Hall, but literally zero Saquon. Not a lot of Amon-Ra. A lot of Mullins. And, I got as much JJ and Lamb as I could, but didn't take home any money in week 18. Just going back to like your comments about this season. I mean, this season was interesting because we had the dog bowl to be chased like every week. So, maybe we weren't making the most plus EV decisions with the lineup submissions that we were doing and the way our money was being spent. Like I would definitely not expect to have a good NFL season if I was drafting the dog bowl a lot. But I don't think you had the volume into bomb that you had last year too, which I think is very fair. Like
that was East Coast biased.
Yeah, the DeBomb was filling very early this year, especially after post dog bowl. It was filling very early, and that was my saving grace this season was finding those small field contests and playing those and making my profit in there because the main BR is so hard. It's fun, fun, but it's really really hard. So I mean, I wouldn't put it down to not knowing ball. I think it's just I don't know what to call it.
Game selection.
Process, but yeah, game selection. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, game selection issue opposed to whatever. I mean, you're definitely right in terms of like establishing quality ROI on this site as like a volume player. You have to be playing the max BRs, but you also have to be maxing those side contests because those help subsidize if you're on the plays correctly. Because I'm be straight with Vinny B here. I'm gonna be straight. I never in my life would have made anything remotely close to this lineup, and it takes it home, right? So who am I to say, right? But Naked Jordan Love would just never be on my radar. I would skinny stack Trevor Lawrence on the back of this every time, or I would have put Mullins with Jefferson. But the biggest killer for me this week, this was in terms of ADP, a GM, because it was really hard to get Jefferson and Amon-Ra together. I think I only got it twice, I believe, something like that. And then to pile James Conner there, who was RB2, which was like, ADP 11, and then Breece Hall, who was RB3 ADP 14 by the end of week. This was an absolute ADP GM. But that being said, I wouldn't have drafted it. So it was probably drafted in a room in which I was in there, where I was basically full fading Breece and Connor.
Yeah, no, I always wonder. I'm like, ooh, man, I had some fades on these guys. Like, I wonder if I was the reason this person won 20K.
Right.
I wonder often. No, I would have never landed on this team. But I just wanted to say, John, I found an old winner of yours, a ninth place team.
Ninth place. That's a big win.
And in week 6, you've had better, but this was in week 6 and like a dual entry 12-person draft. Look at this sick Kenny Pickett team that you drafted.
Kenny Pickett. Oh my god,
man! Kenny Pickett to Deontay, man. How about that?
God,
good for you. See, you still
wow.
Just look at the screenshot.
He still got it, baby.
I lost it. Just look at this, man. You won 9th place with a Kenny Pickett stack before, man. You got the juice.
Well, the irony of that is my biggest cash of the season would have actually been one of those bigger primetime paloozas when they first became 3-gamers there, and it was Steelers as well. And Jaylen Warren stepped out at the 1.5-inch line, and instead of getting a passing touchdown or receiving touchdown from Kenny Pickett, where I had the stack, which would have put me in an insurmountable first place, and there was only like 4 or 5 minutes left in the slate. Instead, Najee punches it in, and I went from first plus insurmountable first to 15th or something like that. And maybe that's just the difference in having a good season versus a bad season, is that 20K right there, because then all of a sudden, maybe I'm looking at this a little bit differently in terms of my ROI. I still wouldn't have had a good season by what I would qualify a good season, but I would have had a winning season,
Yeah, that's so brutal, man. That's
the game we play, man.
It is. Game of inches.
Yeah, actually, what I had to bring up with you that I forgot here was the irony in the fact that you had, for those who don't know, there was what's the 3 top heavy when they only pay the top 3 prizes in hoops called?
He mixes it up, he being Neumy, but it was the crossover.
So Nez had a crossover night where a game that had no business going to double overtime and a foul that took place in the paint but didn't take place and should have been a turnover and all this. But the whole situation, Nez ended up finishing tied for 3rd by himself instead of 2nd and 3rd, which was basically a difference of like 4 or 5K, because you ended up with 2K instead of 5, or 2K instead of 6. Something like that, right? The irony in you winning on Friday, which is about a week removed from that one, is it was fucking Paulo Banchero who put up the score of the night, the guy you needed, the number 1 guy. So I had to tell you that one. I was like, I'm sure you thought of it, but I was like,
oh yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
No, after that game, I was like, okay, you know what, Paolo, like, you've earned my respect. Like you yanked it from me, but I'm getting my lick back. And that Franz being out, I was like, this is time. This is the time. Yeah. And my man got me back, and he's been balling ever since, man. He was on the first place lineup last night too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is no joke that he plays like 38 minutes every single night. Him and Franz, when Franz was healthy, that it was that, and then the center rotation was like, I don't know, throw it against a wall. The guard rotation was throw it against a wall. I don't know who's going to play tonight, but what you could count on from that team was Paulo's usage and Paulo getting 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyways, classic Badge Bros jumping fucking hoops, football this way, that way.
Welcome to the show, folks.
Yeah, we'll get a little couple baseball takes in there.
Yeah, and while you're here, let's just get it out of the way. Go ahead and like the video if you haven't liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and join the members channel if you haven't joined the members. It's like a BR a month, 1 BR a month, and you can hang out with us in the morning and do hoops ranks.
Love it.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, and then we'll have some more clarity as to what the entirety of this process looks like going forward. And yes, J Habs, this is on our mind right now. The first big PGA event of the season was this weekend there, and Golf Streets were filling rapidly there. Love to see it. Let's just say, dare we say, an old throwback line I haven't said in a while. Irons in the fire in terms of the golf stuff. Yeah, we got lots.
I think I know a guy.
Oh man.
Speaking of knowing a guy, just real quick, I asked our good friend Neumy, like, dude, I'm playing the golf BRs. Do you like who should I take? And you already know how this goes. I get a fucking 3 screenshots of advanced stats of who can putt, who can drive, who's got the good short game, a weather report. I like 3 different weather reports about what the weather's going to be like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Names, Neumy. Give me names. Well, that's why we love him, man.
He's so dialed, man. He's so dialed and so advanced in his process like that. I mean, we miss talking through it with him on the show with regularity there now that he's not in the streets. But like, it's so spot on that, like, you know, you ask for a baseball take, you get like weather blowing out, Cardi's projection plus this. It's like, dude, I'm just looking for you to tell me Emmanuel Quickly. I'm just tell me 60% Emmanuel Quickly in the 6th round, please.
He's the best, man. He's absolutely good.
So good. One of the good guys in the community here, finding his way to 6th place, 4K. Great way to cap off a great year from our guy Chad here. He had the DAC stack, which is this is a team I could see myself getting a little more towards. I didn't have much Saquon or Connor, and that was or Hall, to be honest. That was kind of like low key the death of me. But yeah, you know, we get this DAC skinny stack here. He takes Connor. They're very obtainable team. Then he plays the 2 Jacksonville pieces without their injured quarterback, but the usage was going to stem their way versus a pass funnel. The usage stems their way without Kirk, and maybe they would have been without Zay Jones as well. So pretty sharp to get ahead of the pass catchers. There was going to be more concentrated on that side there. And then Barkley, literally playing for a contract. Like, you can say what you want about like that Giants team, but they were playing for pride. They were playing for contracts and that sort of thing. And then Connor, who, I mean, even the cash game community got to Connor this week, and I don't really know how. Pete said something on the Gilcast last night with the guys where it's like, oh, where did all this Connor steam come from? Because he wasn't popping in any of the optimals. He wasn't popping in whatever. And it was just like, I guess the bro science play of the week where it was like, well, have you guys been paying attention? He's been killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what his salary was unredacted, but I mean,
we don't care.
The volume was just clearly there. James Conner, we described, what did we say he was? He was Najee and Jalen Warren, like all in one. Isn't that what we said? Like,
yeah,
dude rules.
You said that he was the reason you aped too far into zero RB being good because you thought he could replace Le'Veon Bell 1-for-1. So you thought every running back could replace Le'Veon Bell 1-for-1.
You have to remember my brain wasn't fully formed. And I still love Le'Veon. I'll ride or die for Le'Veon, but my brain was not fully formed. I was watching Le'Veon Bell run the rock, and I was like, there is nobody better doing it ever. Like, Le'Veon Bell is just, like, impossible to replicate. Then he holds out, and I'm sad. Like, you got to pay him. Just pay him. And then Connor comes in, and his numbers are the, like, exact same. And I'm like, oh, man. you know what? Like Ben Baldwin was right. Like running backs don't deserve a lick of money. Like they don't need anything. Like why are we paying running backs anything? But it turns out James Conner's actually pretty damn good at the game.
Oh yeah,
it's still here and still kicking ass. Like
one of my favorite.
Tip your hat.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, one of my favorite James Conner stats like ever was just like his. We always joke about like the value of touches around the goal line, right? And that driving the efficiency of running back, or not the efficiency of running backs, driving the value or perceived value of running backs, aka why Joe Mixon pops every week, aka why Tony Pollard pops every week, blah blah blah, right? The inverse being true of a guy like James Cook, where he just like doesn't get that stuff. One of my favorite stats associated with Conner was he's been the most efficient goal line running back at scoring touchdowns when given an opportunity in football since like 2016 or something like that, 2018 or whatever his first year with the Steelers was. That was like one of my like, go back to that every single time one. And for whatever reason, Nez, I just fucking forgot it this week. Like,
you know what happened is you were clinging to my bad take this year that like the Seattle defense is actually good, but me just completely ignoring that they get gashed on the ground.
Yeah. Man, we got to talk about Seattle for a second because it didn't end up mattering. Like they didn't make the postseason or whatever because of Green Bay. But does anyone run purer than the Seahawks? Like just like they play the weirdest fucking games and the weirdest shit always happens. Like, and you can go way back to like, Golden Tate Hail Marys, and you can go back to, the shanked field goal in the postseason against the Vikings that was like 20 yards away in the snow and this sort of thing. Like the Seahawks still found their way to the postseason, in quotations, had the Bears been able to beat the Packers there, or had they beat the Steelers last week. But they still gave themselves a chance to the bitter end with like 2 misses from Prater. Like when does Prater miss inside 40 or just inside 45? And he misses twice in the last minute of a football game. And they pushed the ball all the way downfield when they were having no success throwing for the last 2 weeks. And they score on their one drive where they needed to score. It's just like, man, the Seahawks just always find a way to like this weird ass relevancy. Like the stars align over Pete Carroll. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I think it was Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Awesome dude, like used to be for the Ringer, who has that tweet from like 2016 that says the Seahawks have never played a normal football game ever.
Yeah.
And it's evergreen for almost 10 years now. Seahawks have yet to play a normal football game. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Speaking of which, speaking of the playoff stuff, I mean, is there anything else you want to hit from week 18, or are we ready to turn the page?
No. Shout out the Steelers, playoff bound. Let's
Najee on the cover, baby. Najee on the cover.
Kind of leads us right into playoff. If that's where you want to go, if you want to go,
yeah, absolutely.
Best ball or BR, whatever. You tell me.
We'll do the BR stuff on Wednesday. Let's do a best ball draft right now. Let's do a gauntlet or something like that. We have definitive matchups. We will talk about the intricacies of said matchups. A lot of fun, just like bro science storylines off the hop, though. Like, you get this Packers versus Cowboys. You get this Packers offense is emerging and all of a sudden like really good and throwing for significant yards every week. You get the Cowboys McCarthy story, versus the Packers narrative. You get this Stafford back at Detroit, coming back for a postseason game narrative. That's a lot of fun there. You got the Eagles lost 5 of their last 6 games, and now they have to go on the road for a postseason game. There's just so many fun narratives out this week. The Browns and Texans one, they both kind of like find their way in super unconventional fashions. Like the Texans at the start of the year, I mean, only Wu-Tang Killer Beast. He was the only guy on planet Earth pounding the table for Texans playoffs, Texans, coach of the year, and DeMeco Ryans. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, lots of fun stuff to unpack here. Yeah, what do you think macro-wise on playoffs?
They're very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's maybe 5 out of the 14 I feel have legitimate shots. Obviously, our 1 seeds, Dallas. I kind of think the Browns have an actual shot at a playoff run. And then Cowboys and Rams, and that's based on the fact that I think that Sam Laporta injury it hurts their chances, could potentially ruin their opportunity at a win in round one. Eagles, I'm just like so completely just like turned off by, but man, did they get an awesome matchup against the Bucks though to kind of help wreck the ship, get some confidence back. I haven't seen the total in that game. I would bet it's going to be too low. I would probably guess it's at 45, but I would go way up on that because these are two super fun, super bad defenses and two offenses that can throw the rock a little bit. So I mean, Mike Evans, I think he was a good click in the gauntlets already, just as like a help get you over the hump piece. I am into that with like a couple one-offs here. And AJ Brown, if he can play in the same vein. We didn't get to see a good game from him because he got hurt, and it does seem like he's going to play this week. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I hope Baker. I mean, if you guys watch the Bucks game, I hope Baker's healthy enough. Like Baker looked really hurt, and he was limping off like every play and this sort of thing. It was a real like gutted out performance by Baker. Can you hear that pounding, Nez?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Is that the pounding of your heart and compassion for Baker?
For Baker. He's a good football guy, man.
He deserved better.
Yeah, I got 44.5 with -3 Eagles at this point in time.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the weirdest clicks right now will be Devonta Smith, like, unable to go this week, but how close was he actually? And maybe they just made a concerted effort of like, okay, get him healthy. This game doesn't mean the world to us. Like, they still we're going to make the playoffs and finish as the 5th seed as they lost and as happened, right? Yeah, interesting. Closing line value of the Bills. Did anyone get it in better than Bills being out of the picture, call it 3 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden they're a 2 seed hosting the Steelers? Did anyone get it in better than the Bills right now?
Oh man, hard to say. I really do think, man, that the Browns are legitimate like contender for a Super Bowl. I think their defense is very good, and I mean Joe Flacco. I mean, how many times we have to see him like play good football? I think that there is actually something there, but no, the Bills. I mean, what an ascension! Josh Allen went from like a 2-3, 3-4 turn pick to he's going in the first round now every single draft. It's crazy. I wish I did more of my strategy in the Gauntlet, and I wish I did more manual drafting, but I was being really lazy about how I was doing my Bills exposure. So I do have some nice teams, but they could be way better.
Dude, shout out to you just for being ahead of the curve of that, because that shit aged so well, especially in those mitten contests that have already closed, right? So, yeah, I mean that ended great. I wanted to pull up. Let me find it real quick here before we. I mean, I'll hop in a draft at the same time. Actually, let's do. How about that, Nez? How about that?
I like the way you think.
43 minutes and we're finally getting in a draft. Do you? Let me hit the refresh here. All right. Neumy2's moving the tiles all around on us.
Yep.
Burying this stuff. We got Mitten 3 out here. I want to do Gauntlet, though. You want to do Gauntlet?
Let's go Gauntlet.
Okay. I know this $50 price point might scare some people from the little Gauntlet. It's kind of funny that it's named the Little Gauntlet, but
it's more expensive.
But it's more expensive. Yeah, I always found that funny, but I get it because of the field size there. But this plays into what I was trying to get at with in terms of like contest selection here is Evergreen that our boy John Boy Beats did something intelligent.
So what you're pulling up is he likes to he analyzes the contest. Here we go. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Yeah. Adlib, tell me what's up.
Sure. Yeah. So he creates his own like proprietary score for these contests that you see, and obviously a higher score is like more advantageous to enter, depending on what your volume, depending on your bankroll and all these other factors. But if in a vacuum, he grades them on a scale. And like you were saying, Little Gauntlet is up there with some of the Little Mittens, which as far as the money that you get back in the finals, how much is being paid out to certain places relative to buy-in. He factors in a lot of different things. I don't know exactly like what the formula is for the points, but what you can see is like the break-even position if you max enter and what you need to finish in the finals. If you finish 50th in the little gauntlet, you break even. So and that is like one of the biggest I think point getters, if you want to call it, for his formula is what it takes to break even in the finals. So little gauntlet grades out really well. If you haven't maxed that out and you have the bankroll, definitely do it.
Do you want to try and do an Ayuk Purdy start here?
Yeah, let's just see.
Do you take Purdy first because you can fall back on Kittle if Ayuk goes?
I haven't been doing that, but there might be something to that.
Okay, let's try it. And then just knowing that we're going to play NFC through the bye and hopefully have 3 pieces of that team kind of thing. I realized that this is kind of grainy and whatever. I just ripped the screenshot that was posted in the Discord there. Go ahead and take a look at the sheet itself. It's posted in the Deposit Kingdom Discord under the BadgeBros thread in the pinned messages department there. He goes Allen, Diggs, and then we get the Ayuk to come back to us here. Dude, market souring on Miami after Miami has looked putrid, dare I say, the last couple weeks here. Are we legit scared for Miami now?
Well, if they're a 5 seed or
they are a 6, I believe. They are 6 at Kansas City.
So if they happen to get past Kansas City, they've got the Ravens after that. Assuming the Steelers don't win. If the Steelers, because there is like that level of reseeding where lowest seed gets the 1 seed.
Yep.
So pretty tough road if you're the Miami Dolphins. I can understand souring 100%. I mean, yeah, the offense is good, but it looks like it has so many flaws right now. But the pieces that are playing for Miami, though, like they are, the good thing about them is they are highly concentrated. So they kind of double as like, maybe like there's this hope that maybe they can advance, but also the pieces that you do get, assuming Waddle plays, but regardless, I mean, Achane, Hill, Mostert, if he plays as well, they're very concentrated offense. So they're going to give you probably a decent score against the Chiefs, which the Chiefs have been looking a little bit more vulnerable. I mean, they've looked vulnerable all season, but defensively, I think there's a little bit more vulnerabilities lately. So that should be a fun matchup, Chiefs and Dolphins.
Yeah, I think just from like looking at the games on paper right now in terms of like ones that I'm genuinely most intrigued with but don't have a strong lean towards, that one kind of gives me the most pause and ambiguity than any other game now that we know the matchups.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like it from the standpoint of the Chiefs. I think that is very, very bullish for the Chiefs.
Okay.
Dolphins are so banged up. Like they just lost Bradley Chubb the other week. Like their defense is just really banged up.
They've lost 5. I think it's 5 now. Linebacker and or edge rushers. I think it's something like that. 4 or 5. That's
brutal.
Yeah.
But that's good for the Chiefs, obviously, because they can score points. And then the Dolphins sort of have the ability to push the pace. So it's good for the Chiefs to be able to get out of the first round. If you're
we got Kittle to come all the way back to us. Do we take 3 pieces of the bye team and then shut it down?
Yeah. You do.
2 out of 6 advance here. Our guy's dealing with back spasms. Guess who doesn't give a fuck? This guy. We're going to go ahead and stack that one up. Now, do we start thinking about the AFC side here, Nez?
Yeah, and I think you can do Baltimore and then try to like piece together something if you want to do a 5 Super Bowl. If you want to do a Super Bowl.
I kind of like the idea of doing either Cleveland or Houston.
Well, you better go find them. I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. Okay, there's Cooper. Cool.
Yeah.
I forgot Cooper's risen so high. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
On the topic of dual 1 seeds, last year, the winner only had 4 pieces in his lineup to win the Gauntlet. That was 1 out of 6 advance in the first round. Do you think 4 pieces can win again if it's Ravens, Niners? And spoiler alert, I think yes.
The one thing that scares me this year is the final being 2.5x bigger than the final was last year. That's the one thing that scares me. And I don't think you can push through 5, right? Like I just flat out, even with 2 out of 6 advance, I don't think you can push through 5 Niners and Ravens combined.
You think it's still too hard?
I think it's still too hard. But I do think, you're definitely going to draft to do it and shoot the ceiling if someone gets it. Yeah. But like, what would you do here? Like to close Mark Andrews and Gus Bus?
Oh, dude, Gus is going to go probably before we can get there. If he doesn't, we should like strongly consider it because he normally doesn't fall this far. And you're normally not getting Kittle and Ayuk with Purdy. Like we would honestly be passing up like a hell of an opportunity to build out like a pretty sick. See, there goes Gus.
Yeah, GA did it.
What I would love to know is how many Lamar CMC teams there are. Because if there are any, then you shouldn't draft Ravens and Niners. You just shouldn't, because that'll win. They would win with those two.
Are we going Njoku here or Ford?
Whoever's first. I play
They're side by side. We don't have a running back yet. I think we do Ford.
Okay.
What other team are we going to mix into this equation?
Well, you can go a million different ways. Like you said, you can do your. It wouldn't make sense to do Texans, so I would cross them off.
Miami is dropping like a rock right now.
Miami is falling big time. My fallbacks right now are like Miami and the Packers. I think the Packers are a legitimate team. Tough matchup with the Cowboys, but Packers seem to have the Cowboys numbers in the playoffs. Dating back
I'd rather do an AFC team though with Purdy.
Well, I would definitely go Njoku.
Okay. We're going to go Njoku.
We're already so invested in this.
Okay. So we're going to make sure we have 4 Cleveland pieces here because the other one's going to be Flacco.
Yeah, like that makes an easy quarterback for our bye.
Yeah.
And then now, like, I mean, one other running back would probably be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure who it'll be yet, but it'll probably be
a good one.
Pick. Okay. And
Aaron Jones.
Oh, yeah, like, absolutely.
Okay.
The Packers are a great fallback option right now.
And then you kind of wipe out Cowboys. Wait, we got to think through the bracket, though. Shit. This is something we'll do in detail on the Friday show.
We're just trying to get past the first round. Like, we have our Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
Everything else is just like a sacrificial piece because we just need to get out of round 1, and then the Purdy and the Niners pieces kick in. You know, it's not like they don't score points until the Super Bowl. Once they kick in, now they're unique and they're really good. So
in a vacuum, though, Nez, I think it'd be better for us to go backdoor Lions than backdoor Packers because Packers would play the 49ers if they get through.
Yeah, I agree. But like Laporta, did Laporta go yet? I didn't see him in here. Do you have ranks? I didn't see him.
No, I don't have ranks in here right now.
Okay.
But like I'm thinking about the running back depth. Like you could go like David Njoku and Laporta.
Or Montgomery and Laporta?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
2 Davis.
Who did I say?
Njoku.
Oh,
David Njoku. No, nice. I like Montgomery and Laporta here. If they fall, GA might have something to say about that because he likes to have fun. Okay.
GA's going backdoor. He sniped us on backdoor Packers there and going with the Love Jones side. See, I think that makes a lot of sense for him. Like he started with the two big Detroit pieces and then backdoor Green Bay, and they can't play each other. I think he's realizing the exact same thing we're realizing in real time.
Yeah,
I mean, dude,
those
we
are
could
good
also
picks.
go Achan and Waddle.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Achan Waddle probably is better. I think it may,
Okay.
and
Do
I
we
would
take
go
Achan
Achan
first?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. All right.
Yeah, at least give ourselves an out at a different matchup in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is the wild card on the end here. What this guy does, though. Oh, he's staying in his lane though. He's doing the Buffalo stuff. He's got a little bit of Rams stuff.
Yeah, good
Backdoor
for this guy.
Rams.
Like no badge, actually knowing what to do. So before you make
Yeah.
this pick,
Yeah.
it's the pick. It's the pick. It
Yeah,
doesn't make
because
sense going Prescott.
no, it just doesn't. And I mean, we're gonna find a quarterback pick, and we're gonna decide whether we want to or Flacco. And I think it's gonna be Flacco, but they're both gonna be there. I know, like Dak looks like a value right now in quotations, but you're catching the falling knife in terms of a build. I think
It doesn't make any sense for our team. Yeah, when
Yeah.
Waddle is falling this far, and we don't it would be awesome to have him, and we do kind of need him for this round. But like even still, it's like, hey, if the Dolphins go on like a insanity run, Waddle should be back. If not this round, then next round if they happen to get past. But I have no lean on his. I haven't been keeping up with his injury like that. Now Devontae Smith. Now that's one that I am legitimately concerned about because he was on crutches, which is
he had the walking class.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Oh, the crutches was pushing his Dak stack there.
Yeah, because he had the Dallas stuff set up, the Pollard, whatever, and then getting Dak at 47 when he has an ADP of like 21, instantly find yourself to a unique way. Juwan Jennings went there. Do we want to add like Elijah Mitchell to this from like a Niners side? Because we're gonna have two picks left here, and it's gonna be either Tua or Flacco. Which do you prefer? And then it's either gonna be. It's crazy that I'm gonna say Flacco. That's crazy, right?
No, it's not. It should be Flacco. They play the Texans. Texans pass defense isn't crazy. We have so many Browns.
Is Elijah okay? So is Elijah Mitchell the other pick then, or do we do something else? Run back Nico Collins. Okay, we needed to make that one first.
No, that was we had to. So our
no, because he's already got two quarterbacks. We wanted to make the other one first, but I just queued it up so that we.
This guy isn't going to do anything that'll piss us off. He's probably going to go David Montgomery here. I love the DeMarcus Robinson pick.
Yeah. How Galbrain can we go?
I was going to Galbrain us into a Ravens pick in case it's 2 1 seeds, but. All that's left is Mark Andrews, and I don't think Mark Andrews plays in the Super Bowl if they get there.
I mean, I've been on team like Isaiah likely might be better anyways.
Right.
Okay, we could go Nico round 1 run back, but it leaves us thin at running back.
Nelson Aguilar. Do who you want, but like that would be a pretty nuts. Like it's a pretty funny way. No, never mind. You don't have any running backs. Sorry.
I don't have any running back. Yeah.
I got excited.
I know what you mean with the Aguilar, like where it's like a hedge against a Super Bowl matchup to ensure that we have 4 if the 2-1 seeds go. I think the thought process is correct. I think for this roster, it was wrong. Like if Justice Hill had been there, maybe. Yeah.
Justice Hill would have definitely had been the pick.
We get a Wicks pick there. Man, that guy just scores touchdowns, eh? I have not done many of these, as you guys can see. Okay, let's go back to this for a second.
That was a really good team.
Yeah, I think everybody came out of these. I mean, this is what you want, right? We get a streamed draft with 4 other guys who are regs in this stream and chat, and then the cat stayed in his lane here and obviously knew exactly what he was doing. So
the cat.
The cat, baby. This is fun one from GA going Wicks over Christian Watson. Like they might cannibalize one another there.
I would have gone Watson, but it is.
Yeah. Definitely like a good differentiating piece. I mean, he just keeps scoring touchdowns, man. Wicks and Melton. Like crazy. I played some Musgrave last week, like in week 18, because I thought it was sneaky because Love was like pretty chalky. He was going every single draft, and I was like, this is sneaky, man. Everybody's gonna play Tucker, and Musgrave has the probable tag, and I was like, here we go. And
yeah, that's weird.
fuck idiot.
Like, I mean, I wonder if like maybe they were just easing him back, or is it actually like Tucker Craft's team now?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're both kind of good. They're both rookies, right? Like they were both.
And they spent similar draft capital on both, right? Like
the Packers are going to be so fucking fun next season.
Yeah, I mean, I threw a little thing in our Discord yesterday, and I'd love to know your opinion because I was thinking through it last night where it was like, I was watching the games and I'm like, man, there are so many quarterbacks right now that seem like fun and they're airing it out and they could be leading good offenses, that how far could we push Mahomes down next year to jump these like kind of like quote unquote sexier hype train, BBM off season where we're like, oh, we're going to push the narrative on so-and-so, right? Like, who are going to be like the Trey Lances of the past where we push them over the known commodities? And I think Mahomes is the guy who's, who we're accustomed to being so high up there, who's going to take the biggest bath this offseason. Like, do we push Dak ahead of him? Do we push Shroud ahead of him? Do we push, I don't know.
He needs some help. He needs some help big time. We'll see what they do because I think they're definitely going to address his weapons in the offseason. They kind of have to. But yeah, it'll be, I still think he's going to be overpriced.
Yeah, that's fair. And then Turn Me Up brings up a really good point here. It's like he was always overpriced, and next season he's going to fall to a place in which now you want to draft him, hopefully. Right? Yeah, very, very interesting here. Yeah, we're all jumping up and down to draft these rookie tight ends last year. Now we get 2 weeks of him being on IR and Tucker Kraft, who, by the way, everyone laughed at me when I hyped him up for a showdown slate like 6 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, now we're declaring Musgrave's Jover and it's Tucker Kraft season here. I'm glad the people have seen the light.
We'll give you your flowers, Johnny.
Should we jump in the hoops streets here, or do you want to rip one more playoff draft?
If you want to rip one more, I mean, you haven't done a lot. I don't know if now that you wet your beak, you kind of got the itch.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do Gauntlet again here.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for the big prize pool.
Yeah. These gauntlets are really fun, and I am interested to see what these final teams are going to look like now that we've got 2 out of 6 in round 1. I mean, I do think that this is the superior way to do playoff best ball. It just makes it a lot more fun. So hats off to Hope and Neumy for look at this room. Look at this.
all green, all red badges. That is fun.
Like hitting 777s on a slot machine, man. This is hilarious. Wow, this is a great sign. The winner is coming from this room. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, Spider-Man collusion.
Man,
that's so good.
I gotta tell you, I think I gotta hit tweet on my hands. My notifications are jumping right now because I called for the tutorial. I think if you reg for a draft, and it goes for everybody because red badges are guilty of this too.
Yep.
You hit submit on the app, pop-up video, and guess what? You can't exit out of it. Your phone locks. You can't even swipe up. Your phone locks. Hey, everybody. This is Nez and John with the BadgeBros, and it looks like you're about to enter a playoff best ball draft. I think it's important that you should know you win 0 fucking money if you advance out of round 1. There's a thing called the big game. You kind of want 2 players. Oh, my God. We're working on it.
Do we like CeeDee Lamb here with the second here and trying to emulate Crutch's Dallas push it around the corner? Or do we like something else?
That does sound fun, but I have been Lamar Jackson 102, and I don't.
All right, let's do it.
I don't. CLV is a myth. I don't care.
You don't care that Lamar exists in the 3rd and 4th round.
Oh, I hate it. But who's to say that those teams were built appropriately? Who's to say? There definitely are Lamar CMC teams out there, which is very, very scary. So, I mean, maybe we don't build Ravens Niners, but
Yeah, I got you. All right.
The NFC is just so fun. I think the NFC building out NFC teams as like your primary like piece of your roster being like 60% NFCs, it just feels so much better in my opinion. I mean, these matchups look so much better. The offenses are better. Just way more fun.
I think when everybody refers to lines and totals and spreads as Vegas in quotations, we'll agree with you here, Nez, where like the game total of the Bills Steelers one is 35.5. Yeah, that's pretty light. Chiefs Dolphins 43.5. The Houston game is 44.5. And then you go to the other side and it's 50.5, 51.5, and 44.5. So the powers that be agreeing with your comp right now.
Yeah, those games are just gonna be so much better. I'm a little bummed about the weather in the Bills game, but it is what it is. Okay.
You're a weather bro now.
I am. I mean,
you hate to see it.
That was Vegas. Total's down like 10 points.
Okay, I think we could do something really fun that I don't think most people with Lamar are doing. I think most people take Zay Flowers with Lamar right here. Let's take A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts.
Okay, let's go.
And then let's land that plane.
So the idea is like we obviously like A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts put up like a nut score in round one, and like that combo almost alone is putting us in advancement territory.
Yeah, and I just think it's like really uncomfortable clicks that other people won't make, and then we can shut it down because we're playing Philly out of the NFC, and then we can build out like a slightly contrarian Baltimore / because one thing I will say, Nez, and this might be a little gal brain to me, is if everyone was building out, and say Flowers comes back, which is very interesting to see it. Can you push Hurts one more round?
You can.
You think so?
People think that the Eagles suck. And
right.
It might be because the Eagles suck, who's to say? But
well, the other thing is there might not be a good stack partner with him because if Devonta misses, who the hell do you want to stack Jalen with right now?
Yeah, we kind of made him a very undesirable click, which is like a nice little gamesmanship there.
Oh, yeah. We're balls in your court, guys.
Yeah, good luck, boys. But like Crutches is saying in the chat here, there is and turn me up, Eagles FUD is really very real. They're like on the same level as Miami right now, just like the level of disgust that exists. I mean, Jalen Hurts' finger looks nasty. A.J. Brown hurt his knee. They're losing game after game. There's not a shimmer of hope there other than the fact that it's the playoffs and they get a nice matchup in round one.
Right. Yeah, no, good shout there. Yeah, push. There's 40 ADP Hurts with Lamar, and he posted like a 9th round Hurts today. Wow. So if we're going to push it, this might be the room to try and push it here.
I guess, man. With these sharps.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, the Jacksonville backstack's free now.
Ooh, man. I got really lucky, I guess you can call it lucky, to have not had very many Jacksonville teams in my portfolio before the playoff picture was finalized. Yeah. I have never once this season thought that Jacksonville was a desirable team or a team that had any sort of shot. And I mean,
yeah, when everybody was healthy early in the season and they were running the ball so efficiently, it was kind of like, hey, this defense is low-key good and they're getting sacks and like, Allen might be a big deal. And then you go to the other side of the ball and it was like, look at all the weapons they have. And then they've been pretty banged up at the wide receiver positions. And then I think maybe Trevor Lawrence just isn't him,
Don't think so either, dude.
All right. Okay, do we capitulate and take Jalen Hurts plus Devonta Smith right here? Do we take Gus Bus first? What do you like to do?
What's our neighbor doing?
Our neighbor's all over the place. Could do anything right now.
Oh, Christ.
I think Hurts is the most important part. I know 9th round exists, but I think we've executed our plan, and I'm okay putting the condom on it right here.
Let's do it. Throw it on. And then after this, I would probably say a Raven, or a Raven or an Eagle, probably. I'm okay with reaching on Unlikely too. He probably won't make it back.
Yeah. I think I like Likely here. I mean, Devonta's gonna fall, especially when Hurts is falling and he's not healthy. So
Yeah.
his ADP is a Fugazi, it's a Fugazi, it's a Wazi, it's a Woozy right now. We push up the guy who scores a touchdown every single week and wears that beautiful purple.
Yeah. Makes sick plays, sick one-handed grabs.
Buddy.
He's going nowhere. He's going
Tempt
nowhere.
me to mid-time.
Even if Mark Andrews is back, like how do you take him out of the lineup?
Dude, I wasn't kidding when I said like 2 weeks ago when we were talking about like, hey, cheeky little Mark Andrews in the last round, and I was like, I think Isaiah Likely might actually maybe potentially could be better. I mean, he's not a better all-around football player. He doesn't have the block receiving combo. He doesn't have like, Mark Andrews is big time, right? But the amount of injuries he's had over the last 2 years, Isaiah Likely just as like what we wanted Dalton Kincaid to be. That's what Isaiah Likely is,
Yeah, I do wonder like how replaceable that position is on a Lamar Jackson team. Probably like very, but
okay, that's fair.
I mean, but he's looked the part. He's passed most tests. I mean, other than like last season, he was like chalk and then like had some really bad drops. I forget what week that was. But otherwise, I mean, he's looked the part, and I do think that he's good. But I'm just like, is he? What's up with this tight end position? Is it just like, extremely replaceable because it's a Lamar Jackson team or what? But regardless, I do like Isaiah Likely a lot, and I do think he's earned like an actual role if Andrews was somehow able to come back, which like I said, I don't think he will. All right,
this opens the door. We could do Gus, we could do Hill, we could do Devonta Smith, we could do DeAndre Swift. That's what I meant to say.
I thought you said that. Probably Swift. I think Swift and Edwards, if we were on the turn, would be our picks.
Okay. I do agree. Now we got to think about what's going to fit well with this, because we're shaping ourselves up to have like a very interesting spot here, Nez, where we're building out kind of like a playoff baseball lineup right now.
Right.
Where we've kind of thrown this third, fourth teams out the window right here if we make this pick. It might be insane to pivot to like Mostert and Achane, but I think Gus Bus, right?
I think Gus. I think, it's 2 out of 6 advance. We've got the Eagles against the Bucks here, and just this stack is going to carry us and allow us to draft in a way like we are drafting right now, where we can get these Ravens pieces and lock them up.
Okay.
So we've got Lamar, Zay, Likely, and Gus. Like, you don't need another Raven at this point. If you want, you can, but it is absolutely not necessary. And at this point now, like everything, like every single NFC player we take at this point is now a Super Bowl stack. You know what I'm saying? Like It really opens you up to a lot of different possibilities, which I really like to do when you can do it.
Dude, I like this.
You've got lots of possibilities.
Yeah, I like this from a construction standpoint, because now we just play this as like the nutted outcome is Eagles Ravens, obviously, in the Super Bowl. But then we give ourselves backdoor outs by being like, no matter what, this is Ravens in the Super Bowl. And now we just take one off of NFC pieces that are premium pieces of unlikelier teams to get to the Super Bowl. So this roster is crying for Mike Evans. This roster is crying for, that archetype of player. Cooper Kupp, if he comes back, he did not. Tank Bees took him.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I like doing that a lot, and I do that on the NFC side too. Like you can do it with Cowboys and like Eagles. Like now it's almost like bad to do that with the Eagles at this point, just because they fall so much. But like the Cowboys, you can do this on the NFC side too, where you get your guys, or you can even push your Dak like Crutches did. But like you get your 4 Cowboys pieces and Pollard, CD, Ferg, Cooks, and then every NFC AFC player you take on top of that is now just like, Super Bowl stack, like can really find your way into some sick combos that way.
I like it. Okay. So do we take Devonta Smith here and then do 2 of that, or is that way too many from 2 teams and we have to do 3 separate pieces right now, starting with Mike Evans?
Ooh, is Evans?
Evans already went. Oh shit. I missed that.
I like the Eagles, man. I think it's totally fine. I think Eagles versus Bucks. Eagles can put up a ton of points.
Oh, dude, I'm such a fish. Andrew took him at 32. Oh, man, I had my eyes set on like these back pieces. Okay, time to deviate.
Yeah.
One thing I really wish would be introduced into this is if you could do this and get like all the conference teams.
You can. It can't. It's definitely doable. I just don't know if they have, because it's all database from third party. I wish they had the access to go into those databases and just put Miami Dolphins. Tag. Yeah, and just add it to the team name. That would be so good.
Yeah.
It would make a world of difference and probably help some bad drafters.
Yeah. I just got a message, Nez. Says, I told them to take lunch. Is it quiet now?
Quiet as a mouse. Thanks.
Oh my God, that's funny. That is great. Aaron Jones stands out to me.
I think I would go Aaron Jones.
I mean, you could go Goddard and go full onslaught. Other thing we could do is Chris Godwin. If we're looking for NFC tack-ons,
Godwin might be there. My preference is Aaron Jones. I love trying to bully the flex with a running back if I can help it. And you want to talk about Aaron Jones just like overtaking this role. Like we are finally seeing like alpha Aaron Jones. No AJ Dillon helps with that. He's been hurt, but like even if AJ Dillon comes back, it's must-win football, and Aaron Jones has been balling out of control. Back-to-back 100-yard games, I believe, on the ground alone. I mean, dude's balling, and he should put up big-time numbers against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are a respectable defense, but that is a pretty high total, if I heard you correctly.
Yeah, it is. I like that shout for sure. This is an interesting one here. I just read Dalvin's name. And I thought about the implications of Dalvin Cook being on the Ravens.
So dust.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
So dust. He's hoping that he can find his way on the field if something, God forbid, were to happen to another Raven running back, in my opinion.
Right. It's Melvin Gordon all over again.
Yep, I was just going to say that. Melvin Gordon on the Chiefs.
Do not take. No, I was just curious because I just saw the name. Yeah, I wasn't implying crutches that you were saying to take him or us. It was just an interesting talking point. Yeah, there you go. Andrew takes Godwin, which I was kind of afraid of because he had the Mike Evans there as well. So I was maybe we should take him first. Dude, we could make like the super onslaught with like Goddard, but it would be so hard to get out of the first round.
I mean, dude, all we need is two. So we only. Maybe we go
Pickens?
A Packer.
You'd rather go a Packer?
And hopefully you can get those Green Bay guys next round too.
I'm going to zig.
Let's see it.
Fuck. Maybe I'm not going to. All right, Jaden Reed, fine. Well, I was thinking here, Nez, is we've done something that I don't think a lot of people are going to do, where we've kind of set ourselves up with like 4-4 from two teams that we think could make the Super Bowl in both the Eagles and that.
Good point.
That last piece didn't necessarily have to come from the NFC. It could have come from the AFC, and it could have been like if you had found yourself to a Super Bowl with like an alpha from the AFC side as well. And I was thinking like, who has slate breaking ceiling in that last round, quite like George Pickens does, where he could give you the score you need. Plus if he gives you the score you need, there is like this fringe, super minimal outside chance of less than 5% that the Steelers make the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah. I agree that an AFC player was definitely in play for sure. But now we have a potential, I love the team though. You've got some monster teams in your Gauntlet portfolio.
Oh man, we got 3 teams and they're all fucking wagon. It's interesting though, because that now we get into like this gal brain bracket breaking down like we did for the dance streets last year, where you think about, so if the Steelers happen to, I mean, they're they're 10-point dogs in Buffalo. Weirder shit has happened with this Steelers team. Weirder shit has happened with maybe a little bit of snow on the ground, whatever's going to go on there. Let's hypothetically say they make it through in this instance with the roster we were just building. They then play the Ravens. So one of those things has to happen. Ravens are either getting through or we're pushing George Pickens another round. So you're kind of like doing like a double tiered bet here where if we had put Pickens on the back end of that roster, he's either going to put up like nothing in the first round and your roster's, that spot's eliminated, or all of a sudden we have a third round piece that is just one game away from potentially meeting the Eagles on the other side.
Yeah, it's true. You would love for that pick to not cannibalize itself with the main stack.
Right.
Because like you said, but yeah, I mean, that's what makes you so fun, man, is like, that's why I like getting like 4 pieces of one team. Even if it's 5, that's totally fine. But I love doing 4 because then you just open your mind to just so many different possibilities
right.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 4 and 4 is extreme what we did, but at least the 4 from the one side that gives you outs at the other one seems really sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Oh, Mr. Good Boy knows what time it is.
Buddy.
Yeah, go Dogs. What do we say we jump in the NBA streets here and just take a peek at this slate? We got some midday cues. We got that sort of stuff. We got some back-to-backs. Didn't play a ton of yesterday's slate. I just jammed the $3 one kind of right at lock there and got 20 in instead of the 30 required just because it filled so fast there. But almost scooped last night if James Harden could have done more than 30. If he could have put up a mean projection game for me there. We scooped the $3 last night. But yeah, I don't know, man. Hoops is Hoops crazy game. So who you liking tonight, Nez? Where are your eyes going?
All right. So we have to start off with the fact that this slate opened up with a 6 overall Jason Tatum with a Q tag. And that was affecting the other pieces of the Celtics. And this matters because they're playing the Pacers. And when you take Jason Tatum off the court and put the other Celtics on against the Pacers, you get first round value at second round cost with a third round ADP. So a lot of moving pieces, and you kind of have to reconcile with the fact that there were pieces of these Celtics being taken before that news dropped that are on teams that on paper are better than yours. So it is kind of a tricky day.
I'm looking at a 6th round Porzingis team from last night right now.
Ooh, shit.
I mean, the team's not very good because I was just kind of bro science drafting post puck there while the rest of the boys were in the shower. I had to sneak in a cheeky little draft while I was sitting there. But it's okay. It's got SGA on it. It's got Chet on it.
Yeah, dude, it's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. But a wise man once said, "Who cares about super teams? Super teams don't exist." Well, that'll be put to the test today because late round Porzingis against the Pacers without Jason Tatum. Whoa, but I don't think the steam is necessarily getting to Drew and not getting to Derek White enough. So that is definitely a way to play it, is you can you can glutton yourself with those other Celtics pieces for sure. And I even think, who do you think will slide into the starting 5 with Tatum out? I guess what my question is can Al Horford put up a score that you need in the 6th round? Because he is there in the 6th round a lot. And
he did it the other night. He did it the other night with Porzingis there, and he put up the 44 in the 6th round, even though Porzingis was healthy. Granted, unmitigated circumstances where Porzingis got hurt, whatever, with the eye, 8 minutes in there. I think they probably start Horford alongside Porzingis. That kind of makes sense.
That's what they have on Roto Grinders.
Okay, they're without Sam Hauser as well. So, under traditional circumstances, I could have said he would slide into the 5. That would make sense to me. But I think it's just Drew, White, Porzingis, Brown, Horford to me. I mean,
any Pritchard?
I mean, Pritchard could play but not start. Like Pritchard could easily play 28 minutes here. But and maybe that makes him viable in the 6th round on a slate. The slate might be a little too big, but it's such a good spot that getting to him in the 6th kind of, makes a little bit of sense. But I haven't been drafting this one all day yet. I didn't want my focus taken away with lock and news and stuff when, watching the Natty here. But yeah, I think maybe Pritchard's a little thin in the last round. I like him more than like Luke Kennard, and the ADPs are flipped there. But
so that's where, I don't think he can starts, though. No, I agree. I don't think he can start, but I think he could probably find his way into the high 20s. And against the Pacers, I mean, crazier shit has happened.
Yeah,
I'm definitely wouldn't make him a big part of the portfolio. And then we have the Bucks on the slate too, and they're kind of like the better Pacers. Bad defensively.
Yeah, what I would say there obviously is just to paint the scene for everyone is Dame is out. Like Dame already has that out. So we might see a little bit of Point Middleton, because they're going to lack ball handling tonight, because like who are you giving the rock to? I've seen some smart people write up Ty Washington Jr. as a play on Redacted site tonight because they're going to be lacking so much ball handling. So you're either going to get some point Giannis, and Giannis is the 101 for a damn good reason. This is absolute smash territory here. But like Utah's not like a crazy bad matchup for like a big versus those big towers. A crazy good matchup for a big versus those big towers. So I think baked into this projection is just the usage is going to go so north because of the fact that he's going to be handling the ball so much. What if that narrative shifts a little bit and Middleton's running the 5 or running the 1 rather?
That would be pretty fun. Middleton is very, very affordable right now. Yeah. 242 total. Roto Grinders right now they're listing him as like the starting point guard, which is interesting.
Are they for real?
Yeah, they have him because they label them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not like officially, but yeah, they have Middleton as the 1. So that would be crazy. Lineup. Oh yeah, very big lineup. So that'll be definitely one to watch. And then on the flip side, Milwaukee, even without Dame, because he's not a good defender, but they're still not a very good defensive team. Obviously, Lauri Markkanen is going to be a highly drafted piece for me today. Along
big ass shotguns on fire, man.
Yeah, and I like Jordan Clarkson too.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to project what Utah is going to do with regards to rotation on a night-to-night basis. Like the other night, like everybody tries to get overweight Clarkson, overweight whatever, and then they just start Chris Dunn. Like it's just like it's really hard to project what Utah is going to do with that. I think Sexton's minutes are safe. I think Lauri Markkanen's minutes are safe, and then maybe John Collins' minutes are safe, and then outside of that, I have no idea.
Yeah, they're one of the more frustrating rotations, which like we don't like. And then the other thing I'll say about this game too is I think Malik Beasley is like sneaky 6th-round territory too.
Okay,
just some shot availability there for him.
Dude, if you just want to talk about a guy who can get wet from 3 and then all of a sudden like he's the hot hand they keep kicking out to because Giannis is getting to the paint, but he has to deal with the size of Markkanen, the size of Walker Kessler down low there. I think the dream matchup for Giannis tonight is if they start Kelly Olynyk. I don't think Utah should. I think it's the best possible matchup for Giannis. But, we're still talking about Giannis, so who gives a fuck? Like, it's obviously, you're obviously playing Giannis and taking up 1. But I'm just kind of like thinking the way through Beasley gets there would be that they play, like Utah plays big to match the size on the floor in which they have because there's no Dame. Right. And then obviously Middleton plays a bit bigger. And then Beasley's kind of like the guy that they're just hang off of. And he's the guy, you penetrate paint and kick to Beasley. Exactly. And he hits some open shots. Right.
Yeah.
That showed.
And then there's another game that has like the second highest total on the slate, but I don't think it's quite as fun as this next game, which is Suns and Clippers. Suns and Clippers just got a lot more fun because Kawhi Leonard, we had a feeling he was going to play today, officially active. KD, if you refresh, I think will show probable as well now.
Ooh.
So
my big hot take was he wasn't playing.
Yeah, so I didn't think that he was either, and then they put him on the floor for 36 goddamn minutes on a minutes restriction. Just shut the hell up next time. Just don't even
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
So this game is super, super fun. I love when the Clippers play. I love when the Suns play. The Suns are just not a very good team, but they have good fantasy pieces, and I like taking pieces against the Suns. So what's James Harden's ADP? Okay, it's a little damn it. I thought recency bias would come for him, but it's just the pieces around him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time with these teams where it's like it's so hard to pinpoint on a given night whether it's going to be Clippers night for George, whether it's going to be for Harden, for Kawhi, whatever. Obviously, Kawhi is kind of like the one we always gravitate to. Unless George is out, then I can actually flip them, and then I gravitate towards Harden, just because the ball handling role and whatnot. But like last night, it's like, yeah, they're all really good plays, and then it was just like George has 5 stocks. Right, like George is the one you need. So yeah, it's pretty tough on like a night like tonight. I think George draws the KD assignment, and that makes him less desirable. I think maybe Kawhi and him kind of like shift that back and forth. But yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe I'm walking that back now. Maybe Kawhi draws a little bit more of the KD. But this would be an interesting game because it's probably the first time in which we've seen these two teams both at full strength playing one another. Because even Eric Gordon's back tonight. And like, when's the last time you can say, Beal, Booker, Durant, like just from a pure basketball watching standpoint, this game kind of just jumps off the page as like, this is going to be a really fun game to watch. Like, I don't know how we can play it in fantasy.
It's a shame it has to be on the same night as
the Natty.
Yeah, like come on, man. But that's a fun one and a lot of usable fantasy pieces there. Anything else you want to say on that one?
No. I mean, my spicy take was I was going to be kind of like loading up on some back end Nurk because of the usage splits without Durant and that sort of stuff, and I aped in really hard last night on CJ McConnell and Nurk. I had 58% of both of them. Those were just like, 5th and 6th round over and over again. And that's the only reason I had a shot at anything last night. I was kind of going to go back a little bit to the well on the Nurk stuff, but now I don't like it. I'll say that Zubac last night was absolutely smashed and, played an absolute dominant game of his life, like 36 minutes or 37 minutes. He had 19 rebounds, 21 points. I don't know if we see that again, but like, is he in play tonight?
Dude, of course. Zubs is always in play. I love Zubac on a slate like this where it's like not 3 games, not 2 games, but just enough that like Zubac is like a sneaky 6-rounder. Him and Nurk, I think are both pretty fun clicks today.
One thing I would just say in a vacuum that I've been thinking a lot about this year is how much bigger the ceiling is for these bigs and stock potential guys in the 5th and 6th round than these other ones, especially on short slates. And like, I think the field is more accustomed to clicking like sexy names. I liken it to the other night we had Jalen Green popping in projections because they were playing somebody who was like a guard funnel. Right. And Şengün was going at like 6 and Fred VanVleet was going at 10 and Jalen Green was getting pushed up to like 20.
I missed the memo on that night.
I can't even remember which slate it was, what night it was, whatever. But like that shit was happening. And then all of a sudden you see Uncle Jeff just come out there and absolutely cook, takes away all his minutes, part of the closing lineup. He plays like 36, 37 minutes and this sort of thing. And I just think about like the ceiling of a player like Jalen Green when I'm taking him in the 3rd round. What am I asking from Jalen Green? Like, he's not going to get me boards. He's rarely going to get me dimes because he's not the distributing, point guard type, even when Fred VanVleet's off the floor, which is fucking seldom these days. So like, what am I asking from this player? And I was just kind of like reviewing my process. Yeah, he's popping in the models. I don't think he should be, like we should be chasing ceiling of like, 6th round Splash Mountain, 6th round Rudy Gobert, 6th round, Daniel Gafford to an extent. Like some of these players, I don't know. That's just kind of like something in my mentality. And maybe I'm taking it too far with some of the names I'm listing, but like, is there any merit to what I'm saying?
Definitely. I mean, boards and stocks, like Nick is saying, I mean, that's the formula there. Yeah, I mean, they just have maybe not a ceiling, but like a much, much healthier floor for your teams, like for certain. I kind of liken it to baseball when it comes to drafting infielders. It's like, why don't we just take the big beefy boys? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they
Yes.
just like the guys that can hit ribbies and hit homers. Like, why aren't we taking the slugging dudes in this contest where all we care about is ceiling?
Right.
It's like that.
That was essentially your thesis on Isak Paredes last year, where it's like he's going to hit in the middle of this lineup. He's going to have poolside power. Why are we not taking this guy? Like, yeah, in traditional baseball, like runs and steals and stuff like that do play a thing. But on a night to night when we're shooting ceiling, like I'm just looking for a guy who can get me 32 points and break this slate. And he's got 2 home run pop comparative to, you know, some other guys who are only going to hit 20 on the year who are going ahead of him every single night.
Yeah, like I nailed God, I can't remember the fucking second baseman for the Pirates' name. He went 4 for 4 with 4 singles. Good for 12 points.
Like, right. Yeah.
Yeah. The night.
It's like, oh, yo, great work, Nez. Like, great work. You got yourself 80% of a home run there, pal. Like, you know, like it's like,
yeah,
it's so true. It's so true, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another, just because we are getting there on time. Another game, Thunder and Wizards. Thunder are a good basketball team. Yep. They're playing some really good ball. Shea is brute forcing his way into the MVP conversation. They're just a little hard as far as the ancillary pieces. Like Chet is going high, and he should obviously go kind of high, but he's either you live or die by Chet in these contests because of where he goes, because his ceiling is well known, you know. But it's like if he's not getting you 5 blocks or 5 stocks, you're dead in the water with the guy like Chet.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, maybe that's the inverse of that's the inverse narrative of what we were talking about the 6th round guys.
It's all cost adjusted, right?
Yeah, here we're paying up for stock ceiling, and maybe those are the guys we should be fading in that middle tier, even though I will counter by saying the flow chart, Nez, is play fucking centers against Washington because Daniel Gafford gets cooked every damn time.
Of course, that's what it is, right? Is he now has that offensive ceiling on top of it? Let me see where I'm at. I've done 85 drafts, 15% Chet, so not too bad. I like your boy Gafford tonight too, though, and he goes undrafted.
Yep. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I mixed that in a little bit. I mean, lowest team total on the slate, Hornets, but Terry Rozier's role has been insane. I could see myself getting exploitative. Hypothetically speaking, I always tell my takes when we're on this show and stuff like that. I will say I'm probably only going to have 25 lineups in tonight, but I will put Terry Rozier ahead of Kawhi and Chet tonight, and I will take him maybe not ahead of Booker, but like right in that range. Like I will be absolutely piling on Terry Rozier for this usage that we have been seeing from him recently.
You might be on an island, but I love everything you said about Terry Rozier in a vacuum. It makes total sense, and I think that role is real. And, the thing is right now is like, one, the Bulls are like kind of playing better. I don't know what's up with the Bulls. They're like a hard team for me to figure out right now. And 2 is I have Porzingis and Jaylen Brown over Rozier today.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's tough. Like it's a tough fade. It's not necessarily Rozier the spot. It's we have these freaking Celtics against the Pacers with no Tatum.
Right. Yeah, maybe you're right in terms of like getting to those spots first because like their ADPs are just flat wrong right now.
Dude, I have Porzingis pushed up way far. Let me tell you where I have him right now, and then I'll tell you how much I have of him through 85 drafts because I only drafted really post JT news. So I have Porzingis. Go to ranks right behind Kawhi. So, like, and ahead of Jaylen Brown at ADP,
that's
essentially
10 or 11.
10 or 11. I'm at like 20% Kristaps Porzingis. Wow. That should be like.
No, I mean, he's in people's mind right now. He's a 1-2 turn player.
But I have on the contrary 58% Drew Holiday, and 55% Al Horford, which is not good because those are almost certainly paired together a bunch.
So you pushed up those back end guys, and then when you were auto drafting, it was like 5th and 6th round was like Drew Horford. Well, maybe then you're comfortable with your Porzingis ownership being a little bit down because you're on the other side of the equation. You
There
might
you
be
go.
hedging too hard. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one I want to talk about was let's hop in a draft and we'll talk about it on the fly here.
Okay.
The other one being the Bulls. You alluded to the Bulls in general. There, we saw some weird shit where Vooch is back now. Levine has the Q tag, and I'm not really sure what we're gonna get from this rotation because they both came off the bench last game and they still started Drummond. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we thinking there? Are you picking a favorite Bull tonight? Do you want any Bulls? I mean, Hornets are traditionally supposed to be a good spot to get to, but they've been considerably paced down this year compared to what we were accustomed to in the past. And this game, what once would have jumped off the page as like a back and forth shootout prototype where both teams had a 118 or a 120 total, is now like, 110 to 100 with a 10-point spread or something.
Yeah, it sucks. We need LaMelo back to make the Hornets fun again. But I'm at 17% DeRozan even still.
Okay.
And that's mostly because of the Levine downgrade to Q. So that makes me think that he's likely to not play or at least be limited, which obviously helps DeRozan. And then 14% Vooch, which is like I'm fine with. I'm interested to see what they do with the rotation today because if once Vooch gets healthy, like he will start over Drummond, right? Like,
right, yeah. And I mean, like, it'd be very interesting for him just in general tonight. Is like, who's going to play the 5 versus them? Like Vooch could eat tonight if Vooch started, and they went back to Drummond being on the bench, and Vooch got like 34 minutes or whatever because there's no PJ Washington, who's been hurt forever. Why am I blanking on his name? Mark Williams been hurt forever.
Yeah, very generic name.
Right. Nick Richards, I think I'll pull it up in a second here.
Nick Richards is fine.
Yeah. Okay, who do you like here?
Kind of like Şengün.
Okay. Even though you like the Bam matchup, I mean, everything. Şengün's been so hot recently. Everything on that offensive side of the ball runs through him.
Yeah, two like kind of downish games, but I just love Şengün, so I just take him at his ADP. And then for me, this is probably, I mean, you could do Porzingis, Book or Leonard or Kawhi. I guess Leonard, Kawhi. I like to. I'll let you make this pick, but I like this grouping.
Knowing that I'm going to play limited volume tonight, we're going to flip the board, Nez. Here, I know that the combos from the front end of the draft board are going to be repeated so many times in this 18,000 person contest. And I know I'm only going to get about 20 to 25 entries in. So we're going to flip the board. We already got some zinger in the 30th position in our board. Let's get some zinger at the 7, flip the board here, go with the models and see what we end up with.
I haven't even done a sheet today, so I'm not. I'm flying blind. We don't need. Who needs it?
I bet you. Okay, I bet you if I looked up like ETR Stowe whatever right now, I bet you Porzingis would be the 9th highest rated player in their models.
All right, let's check out
Stochastic.
Higher.
You think higher than 9?
As in like more expensive.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let maybe walk it back here. Okay, Giannis, SGA, Hallie for sure. The models love Bam. Bam's ahead of him. Yeah, it gets pretty fucking foggy right there. You could put him at 6.
5 for Stochastic for Porzingis.
Oh, yeah.
And
then what? Jalen's like 8.
6.
Oh god.
Yeah,
interesting.
ETR 5 and 6.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And that's sorting by mean projection?
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I mean, it's crazy, man. If these guys actually hit, it will probably be hard to beat these teams. But, these studs that get drafted ahead of them could also fail, I mean, but I bet those 6-round Porzingis teams probably have a Fred VanVleet landmine on them Like, oh yeah, you're counting your Skolansky bucks.
Oh, I love that. DeRozan?
I would go DeRozan here.
Okay. I like DeRozan. I mean, it's never DeRozan until it's always DeRozan, and there's like that one night here and there. Uh, Tyler Hero without Jimmy Buckets, he's kind of fallen flat on his face the last couple games here, but
I
I'm
like
willing to go
Hero.
back to that well. Yeah.
I'd go Hero or Jalen Williams here. The reason I like Hero is because, like you said, he has like that usage that is opened up without Jimmy, and Hero plays a lot of minutes usually.
Yeah.
He's actually been playing pretty good ball. And the what I like about it too is like what I've been trying to think about, and maybe I'm just like way too focused on what happened last night. And what happened last night was Kyrie Irving, who is noted good basketball player, played against the Timberwolves, noted really bad matchup with Luka. But sometimes, man, like studs are studs, and sometimes stars are gonna do star things. And that's what happened last night with Kyrie. And I'm not saying Tyler Hero is a star, but Tyler Hero is a high usage player on this Miami Heat team. The Rockets, which on paper have been a bad matchup this year, have also been prone to giving up high fantasy point games, i.e., the Sixers without Joel Embiid. That was a track meet for some reason. So I kind of like these spots where I think, sharp players in our Discord are going to have a soft fade on Hero. Like, you've got him now with this 3-4 turn where most guys would probably go Van Fleet, Kuzma, J-Dub, guys like that.
Yeah. Chip alluding to how his touch time has been down. Interesting nugget right there. Also, Highsmith coming back tonight. Don't know who they're going to start at the 5. Maybe he gets a little more work in there, and that plays further into the narrative of Hero being a little less desirable. But no, I like what you're saying. I really like it.
Yeah.
Other things in the chat here. Love and Horford. Everyone's calling Horford night. Yeah, I'm on this train. Rozier All-Star night. Neumy saying we're still live, man. Yeah, we love the people. We're still hanging out, dude.
Servicing over here.
Yeah. All right. Coming back to us here. Yeah, Drummond's just going to be like the falling rock, despite matchup for centers being somewhat nice. Holiday goes there. I like Vooch and Horford here. I like Vooch. Maybe I like Horford less that we did the Porzingis thing. I kind of like Vooch and a scroll. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go Vooch and think through. So,
is it the fucking pool party tonight? Is it the pool party, Nez?
Pool's drained. They're skating in it. No party,
baby.
No party.
Okay, no pool party tonight. You heard it from Nez.
Yeah. What about your boy Zoobs?
I think it's like sexy recency bias. I think Nurk already went. Damn. Yeah. I was like, I would rather that side of the equation. Danny Avdia coming off a big game. I like Gafford better.
Okay.
Let's do Gafford.
While we're doing this, is Tari Easton playing tonight?
Good question.
She's not necessarily okay.
Yeah, that makes Jabari Smith look better.
Exactly. I was going to say him potentially too, but I'd never get Jabari Smith right.
Yeah, me neither. I played a decent amount last game, and he wound up playing 40 minutes and kind of got lucky that he got a couple free throws and a 3 at the end there, despite playing 40 minutes. Just like not a ton funnels through him.
There's shit in the pool. That's hilarious. That's a great delivery. Just a turd floating around.
Oh, jeez. I'm feeling so serviced. I love this.
You're welcome, folks.
There you go.
All right. We'll
all right. So we end up with a Sengun, Porzingis. Actually, it's going to disappear in a second. There we go. Sengun, Porzingis, DeMar DeRozan, Tyler Hero, Vooch, and Daniel Gafford. Don't dupe me.
Don't dupe us. Get your KP though, but don't dupe us.
Yeah. So I think the story of the slate now is you kind of flip the builds a little bit where KP was going late. you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage to some of those KP late teams, but there's definitely some unique constructions you can make because the slate's deep enough that it's not a death sentence that, Jalen and KB are getting pushed up now and they exist in the third and fourth round. We can go ahead and take some other shots late here.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but I don't think the slate's over. Like I truly don't think so. I mean, it's just tough.
Is there anywhere else that a little bit of value on this slate could open up to for a sixth round? I'm just going to do a quick breeze through you could maybe go the Pacers side. Like if Isaiah Jackson sits, Nembhard sits, and Bruce Brown sit, like we're just talking about that game environment, you could get to like Smith on the other side. Like you could play Jalen Smith in the sixth round, or you could push up Miles Turner like prematurely. Maybe Buddy Hield draws into the starting lineup. If like three of those guys miss, Buddy Hield becomes like a sixth round pick who can put shots up. That defense doesn't look as good against Boston without Tatum.
Yeah, that's probably the only way anything happens is if some dudes sit for Indy.
Yeah, I think I like that. Man, just look at all these out tags on the Hornets. They are so thin tonight. I forgot to mention Gordon Hayward out as well when we were talking about that. I mean, yeah, man. Brandon Miller in the last round. I mean, like, if Kobe Martin doesn't play tonight, I think, like, he literally has to play. But, like, you could do, like, some weird-ass shit in the last round with, like, Nick Richards or, Bryce McGowan's probably draws into the starting lineup. If there's no Kobe Martin, it's probably too thin for our site, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really want a part of that game, but I've been maybe I'll take the Brandon Miller bait again, but I've been burnt on that way too many times.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I like Brandon Miller. I just like.
I know, me too.
Yeah, the other one that you could say like that other people are talking about is Ty Washington on the Bucks. Like he's not going to get drafted on our site if you want to sprinkle in 1 or 2 sixth round shares in the hopes that he ends up starting. But you can probably wait for that. It's going to be close if we get a lineup news before the slate starts. Probably not actually. So if you wanted to take like one off Ty Washington in the last round there, hoping that he plays like 30 minutes or 28 minutes, but he's live to play none. Yeah, it's a thin slate for value, man.
It is. That's what's kind of like makes it tough is like nobody really comes that looks like a good replacement in the sixth for those guys that went from the sixth to the second. So
yeah,
good luck.
That's a 2K makeup player. Man. Yeah, Chip doing us a favor here. We still got like 100 of us hanging out. We only got 44 likes. Do us a favor on your way out the door. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification. Nez, my friend, I only got one thing to say to close this show other than playing on the platform of the people is the best place to play fantasy sports these days. So use promo code MLB at sign up and you get 100% match deposit up to 100 USD. Go Dogs. That's all I got, Nez.
Go Dogs. Did you do this?
Go Dogs.
You don't go woof,
You know
woof?
what's the funniest thing in the world? Watching a bunch of white people at a football game go like this. It's pretty funny. Like
we appropriated the West Side.
Because like when we were growing up, like that was like West Coast rappers, like that was like the thing or whatever. And at Huskies games, like at the kickoff, everybody goes like this with their dubs up, and put your dubs up, and there's just a bunch of people.
You do a dub and a chop. You do a dub
and a chop, and it's like they hit the cymbals or whatever at the kickoff, and it's like like this, and you're just like doing that with this.
Wow, what a sight! I'm
Dogs,
still,
baby.
Yeah, I'm with you. Go Dogs! We've got wherever we can play, we're taking Dogs, taking hires, taking everything Dogs. Let's go.
Love it. All right, man. We'll be back tomorrow with something, most likely Nez on his lonesome, or maybe I'll pop on by and ruin it for everybody as well, just because I kind of want to talk tomorrow's Hoop Slate. It looks kind of fun. I was getting a jump on that. Best of luck to everybody in the Hoop Streets. Congratulations again to Nez on the 10K. Congratulations to our guy Chad taking down some good score there. Congratulations to anybody else that we previously missed taking some stuff down over the weekend. Apologies. Sometimes I don't remember everybody. I try my best and I write it down. Look at Mr. Giveaway.
I know. That's your wrap it up box right there. Like.
Yeah, is it ever? All right, enjoy the Natty tonight, and after that game's over, go ahead and flip on over to that Clippers Suns to close it out, because that's gonna be a really fun basketball game. On behalf of Nez and myself, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Catch you tomorrow.